What's up, everybody? This is going to be a Scorpio full moon energy reading. So I am going to just tap into this energy real quick. Actually, I don't want to use these cards. Let me use these. So I just wanted to tap into the collective overall energies for this Scorpio full moon. I had created my own spread, so I'm gonna be looking at my notes and whatnot. So all right, hopefully nature is, you guys like the birds chirping and things like that. It feels really nice outside. It's usually like 90 degrees over here, but today is pretty nice on us. So all right, you guys, let's go ahead and tap into the energy collectively. So what is the overall theme of this moon collectively? The collective mind's energy. Collective mind. The magic of Kohelen Druid. Caution, secrecy, and wary. Okay. So, all right, number 9. Number 9 is an energy of completion. Number 9 can also be a humanitarian type of energy too. Could represent the hermit. So this could just be representing, I'm hearing the word phobias, paranoia, illusions, entrapments. Like these are the closing of those energies. So a lot of you guys, this have been things that you've been struggling with in secret, and they may have been coming up to the surface. And there's also a lot of earthy energy surrounding this card. So I'm gonna say this is healing heart chakra and also grounding your energies too. So that's also the ending of those energies. Number 9 is the ending. So I'm going to clarify with the tarot just to get a little more in depth. So collectively, all of us could be collectively could be going through different challenges and struggles when it comes to, Ace of Cups. So emotional imbalances, especially with the Scorpio energy. Scorpio is a water energy, a water sign. It represents of the lower dimensions, the subconscious, the hidden within ourselves and our emotions. So with the Ace of Cups, you see that the cups is at the bottom of the ocean. So it's like an overflow of emotional energy. But this is also an opportunity to cleanse and purify yourselves and your energy, if that makes sense. It's a fertile energy too. It's a fertile time energy wise. 10 of Pentacles. So this is a collective energy, and I feel like this could represent clearing this for generations, generational energies, your ancestors, the things that they've carried. A lot of you are the way showers. I heard that. I've been hearing that word a lot. Like it's been coming up in my mind a lot. So a lot of us are way showers, and we're cleansing those things from generations, and we're showing others behind, not behind in an egotistical, I'm better than you type of way, but on their journey, they have not reached that aspect or that point within their journey, whereas you may have a little more knowledge and a level of understanding within yourself and your personal journey, whereas others may still be seeking to find that aspect. So these are generational energies, I feel like, that are being cleansed out collectively, just collective energies, whatever our experience is, the collective mind's experience is in this universe. So you got the 7 of Wands and the Queen of Wands. So again, this is the purification energy, transmutation. I believe this is Goddess Pele. I believe, am I pronouncing it right? Hawaiian goddess, the 7 of Wands. So anything that is not of our highest good, that's like an intrusive energy, whether it be within our minds, our energies, we're calling it out, like intuitively inside of ourselves, subconsciously within our being. Anything that does not feel right, that does not belong, is being called out internally. And this can also just represent triggering. This can also represent things and people leaving our lives that don't serve us, at least for right now, the time being. The Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords again is can represent triggering. It can represent mental entrapments and fears. It can represent mental imbalances and things like that, negative thought, thinking patterns that we have the ability to break free of. And it looks like she's on she's standing, this looks like a selenite to me. So maybe some of you guys have a selenite crystal that you can work with to help you clear your mind when you're having those thoughts, when you're having those negative thoughts and you start to feel trapped, you start to have anxiety and things like that. That could also help you. And maybe some of you guys have pets too, like furries, you know, fur babies or whatever. That can also help you relax and ground your energy. Okay, so let's see the shadows of the collective. What are these shadow energies within the collective? What are these shadow energies of the collective mind? Most High God, what are these shadow energies of the collective mind? My first is out here, so shh. Stop. Divine sexuality, making love, erotica, number 22. So the shadows of the collectives is maybe the way that we relate to each other and how we relate to ourselves on a sensual level. It can represent being in love with oneself. There's a lot of struggles with what self-worth is and self-love is. Also, there's a lot of shadow work when it comes to love and relationships. So let's take a look at that. Let's go a little more further into that. The High Priestess, the Three of Wands, the Eight of Wands. So it's a lot of passionate energy too. With the High Priestess, this represents that subconscious, that hidden energy, the occult aspect. The I feel that this can represent a lot of illusions of how we perceive ourselves and how we see ourselves. And then you got the moon energy back here. So maybe this is representing like breaking generational curses when it comes to love and relationships, romantic ones as well, for sure. So if there was ever any spiritual curses placed upon you or your generations or what have you, or family kind of brought in these negative aspects and templates in love and relationships, such as physical abuse, such as mental abuse, sexual abuse, you know, molestation, rape is a heavy topic right now, these abortion laws and such. So these types of energies are being cleansed out, and it's only a matter of time. Because I'm seeing this as like sexual energy, sperms, creative, the planting the seed, creating a seed. So through generations and generations, it's like those seeds have been planted. And I feel a lot of you guys are seeking change within yourselves and within your lives and your outer world. So when you change how you perceive yourself and how you love yourself, that is going to change the dynamic of almost every relationship you have in your life and future relationships. She's working with this green ball of energy, this ball of light and love. So yeah, maybe in the past there has been some manipulative energies and cords and spiritual ties that do not serve us that are being released. And that's collectively. We're doing this through the moon, and it could be very, very challenging. It could be an energy where you really have to go and dive deep. So how do we heal these shadows within ourselves? Because it's going to be different for everybody. But just as a base, where do we start? I'm going to use the Heal Yourself Oracle cards. Just as a base, like, Thank you. Rejection and discover your life purpose. So once you discover and you seek to find who you really are, and you stop rejecting yourself and telling yourself that you are not worthy, and some of us are cleansing this template of rejection that may have started generations and generations, or started as a child, where we got to the point where we started to reject ourselves. So we got to heal that first. And she's working with the green energy as well. She's working with this green pendant. So that could be, you know, pointing towards the heart chakra, or if you're into crystals, maybe like malachites and other green type of crystal, aventurines, maybe even rose quartz, because that works with the heart chakra as well. So once you find, or you seek to find, because what the Scorpio energy is doing is it's pushing us into ourselves. It's pushing us into the shadows of the depths of ourselves to find and to seek the light within a situation and within ourselves and within our life and our purpose. The more we seek to find that, the more we're going to find it. But we have to overcome this energy of rejection. So that is what needs to be healed. It's a matter of telling yourself, I love myself regardless of what I've gone through. I'm deserving of love. I'm deserving of living my life, living my dreams, regardless if somebody told me that I couldn't, or because so-and-so couldn't do it, then that means I can't do it. Or people in my family have never had healthy relationships, so that must mean that I will never have a healthy relationship. It's like, it doesn't even have to be that specifically, but whatever we reject ourselves of, it's all because we're trying to seek to find who we are and what we represent and what we stand for and what we value outside of what others have told us or what we thought was asked of us or what should be, if that makes sense, outside of ourselves. So what is the collective mind giving birth to? What are we giving birth to as a collective? What energies are we giving birth to as a collective? What are we giving birth to during this full moon as a collective? As we face our shadows. Thank you. Visions and freedom. Okay. So visions is number 7. It says independence and self-determination. Number 37 is visions. It says psychic images, clairvoyance, seeing out of body travel. So this is going to be a highly intuitive energy, and it already has a full moon in the back of her. So this is going to be a highly intuitive energy where you're seeing things. A lot of people are going to be tapping into their spiritual sight more. The spiritual sight that we've been given anyway on this planet, and maybe even more heightened than what already is, if we're already utilizing our intuitive abilities and gifts, whether we realize it or not. It's going to be more amplified, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of vivid dreaming and a lot of visions that come to you that may come as a flash of a daydream or some sort of idea, or just seeing this reality outside of what is or what we've been taught to believe it to be. So there's going to be a lot of profound visions about self, really, and your environment, and freedom, independence, and self-determination. It's like you're freeing yourself of whatever has bogged you down, and that does take you being the so-called rebellious one, or the so-called, you know, the outcast. It's like you're creating a template, you're creating your own path, your own way, and not everybody is going to like it. And sometimes that does mean going against the grain, and I feel like you're going to push and move through these energies. It's not going to be as challenging as we think. So let's see, how can we move through these birthing pains as we're giving birth to these energies creatively, collectively, the collective mind? How can we move through our birthing pains and the collective birthing pains of what we're giving birth to within ourselves during this full moon, what we're manifesting, what we're creating, consciously or subconsciously? How do we move through these birthing pains? Because I feel like a lot of us are going through that. It's like we're almost at the end of a cycle, at a tunnel, and we're giving birth to something. And you know, anybody that's had a baby, it doesn't feel good up until that point until you release the baby. It's a lot of pressure. It could be also a lot of pain as well, or just an annoyance and an uncomfortable feeling rather. So let's see. Thank you. The Nine of Swords. So how do we move forward? I feel like we have to see whatever is causing us annoyances, fears, doubt, whatever these Nine of Swords represent for you, the lower aspect of our mind, the things that we perceive to be real that's negative within ourselves. We know when something doesn't feel good to us. It's like we have to see it as an illusion. We can't be spooked by it. We can't give in to it. We can't succumb to those energies, if that makes sense. Because it will continue to fester and grow more and more until you address it. So you have the Justice card and the Five of Pentacles. Stop denying yourself of what you believe is righteous for you, meaning the good things, that you deserve peace. Stop telling yourself that you don't deserve to be happy. You don't deserve peace. You don't deserve a beautiful reality in this existence. So it's like, yeah, this, certain things in this world may not be all that it is and may not be so great and grand to some degree, but there's another perspective. There's always another side of the coin. So it's like, which side of the coin are you going to choose and bank on? So it's like you have to be the change that you wish to see in your outer world. You're going to have to change that within yourself. But the first thing is to remember that you make that decision of how you see your reality and what you're deserving of and what you believe you're not deserving of. The Three of Pentacles. So the good thing is that we do have divine assistance and divine help here on this planet from our ancestors and spirit guides. So we're not just down here floating by ourselves and working alone. We have divine assistance and divine help with all of this as we go through our cleansings and awakenings and releasing. All right. Okay, so where do we start as far as like cleansing, reflecting, to be kind to ourselves? Where do we start with that? Let's see. I'm going to use the Flower of Life cards. What can we do to be more kind to ourselves? Keep ourselves grounded and kind to others around us, because everybody essentially is going through it. It's not easy for everybody. Nature, which is pretty. I think it's lavender. I don't know what this is. I think it is lavender. It says, take a moment today to stand outside and quieten your thoughts and breathing. Know the sun and your soul are always shining. The birds in your heart are always singing, and the flowers in your path are always opening up. You don't have to take action these things into being, or you don't have to take that doesn't make sense. You don't have to action these things into being. You just have to turn up. Look around and feel into life. Notice how your dreams and your desires surround you in many ways. It may not be the precise thing you desire, though it will give you the same feeling. Look for where your dreams and desires are, instead of where they are not. Shift your perception and you will change your life. So I don't know if you guys want to screenshot it. But that is that. So I'm just going to tap into the ancestors and ask them for, is there any other messages that we should be mindful of, aware of, anything that would be helpful to us from these divine ancestors, the original ancestors of this planet. I'm going to tap into those energies and ask that you give us some divine clarity about this full moon. What is it that you would like the inhabitants of this plane of existence to know? Thank you. The Queen of Cups and the Knave of Swords, which is the Page of Swords. So I feel like it's taking into account, what's in the heart, what you really feel. I feel like it would be essential to journal, journal everything that we're thinking and feeling. Write down, write down the things that you wish to release and let go of, on a permanent marker or like a permanent ink. And you got the Sun card. So it's kind of, and also your desires and your goals, like write these things out. You know, what do you envision for yourself? Write these things out. Stay connected with your spirit guides. They speak to you. They speak through you. You do have the key to healing yourself. You do have the key to healing maybe other people. But this is also tapping into your heart and what messages that you're getting from there. Like, don't be hard on yourself during this process. Just be receptive to the light, because you are light. You're a light being. Even when you're in the shadows, the sun does not take away the beauty of the moon, and the moon does not take away the beauty of the sun. They all go together. They are complements of one another. So as we go through the shadows, as we go through the darkness within ourselves, it does not take away our light. Just because we have gone through something, just because we have done something that we deem as negative or wrong, or others have deemed as negative or wrong, it does not take away your divinity or your light. You're still a light being. Okay? You are still a light being. So that's what they want you to know. Is there anything else that we need to know as a collective? The Emperor and the Six of Swords. So essentially, we are also, when we step into our power within ourselves, that push, that determination within, that's what's going to push us forward and move us on to the next phase of our journey. And it also plays a very vital role in what we think and how we perceive ourselves. It's not always easy to overcome the shadows, you know. It's not an easy thing, but it doesn't mean that you're not, and that you cannot overcome the things that hold us back, the things that we think of, the things that we fear and whatnot. All right, so that was a quick little message, you guys. I hope that it resonated with everybody. Much love. Take care. Peace.